there's a lot of other things you can do. We talked about a lot of that last time when we gave a lecture on building a healthy immune system, working with fluid and things like that. Let's go into the adrenal fatigue issue here now. This is important. Adrenal glands produce cortisol, which is cortisone, natural cortisol, which is a powerful anti-inflammatory, which helps with your allergies. A lot of allergic reactions are due to the inflammation they cause, okay? Helps to regulate sugar metabolism. We just talked about the problem with sugar metabolism. If your sugar is going up and down, being erratic, you're not going to feel good, you're not going to be healthy. But if your adrenals are working properly, you help to maintain that proper sugar level, okay? They're closely tied in with the thyroid gland, which is, of course, has to do a lot with your metabolic function. The adrenals and the thyroids are just almost hand in glove in their function. If one's bothered, generally the other one is too. Okay? Even though it may not show up on a blood test. Okay? Now, what are the signs of advanced adrenal fatigue? If you lie down and get up quickly, and you get a little woozy, that's because your blood pressure drops and the arteries don't constrict fast enough to keep the blood up in your head. Oftentimes that's a sign of adrenal deficiency. Okay? If it's bad enough, you can actually flat out faint out. A patient do that. She got up from the couch once when the doorbell rang, blacked out, fell down, split her head open, and woke up in a pool of blood. They take her to the hospital and stitch her up. It's quite extreme, but it does happen. And if you have too much of a drop of your blood pressure like that, like it shouldn't drop more than 5, 6, 7 millimeters of pressure from lying down to a standing position. If it goes 10 or more, you've got an adrenal issue. Okay, most likely. And that can lead to other kinds of problems. Of course, you get fatigue. The most common causes of fatigue that we have is adrenal insufficiency. Another thing is bright light irritation. You go outside and the sunny light on the dark glasses. You're driving at night and the oncoming car with its headlights really bothers you. Those kinds of things may be hints that your adrenals aren't working quite like they should. You crave salt or salty foods like cheese, pickles, chips. The adrenals like salt, but you don't want to use regular store salt, do we? You want to use sea salt in one of its forms. And there's a lot of different brands out there. You want to use sea salt. It has other minerals in it besides just sodium chloride. And that feeds the adrenals. Now, we don't recommend using salt therapy if your adrenals are badly exhausted. If they're just moderately tired and stuff, then you have a little bit of salt each day with your water is a good idea. It's a great electrolyte. We use the real brand salt here. It's one we like. It's a sea salt. There's also Celtic salt. There's a lot of other sea salts out there. But they have a lot of other minerals in it, and they really help feed your adrenals. But we don't want to use that if you're really down in the hole with your adrenals, because it's just, it works your adrenals too much. They can't handle it. They're already exhausted. So it builds you up first, then we sometimes use salt therapy to get you going. Okay. What else? Yeah, can't stay asleep, or you can't fall asleep. Both of them were signs of adrenal problems because they regulate your blood sugar. Blood sugar drops too low, the adrenals make cortisol to bring the sugar back up. If they can't do that, you have a hard time getting to sleep or staying asleep. Okay, it's very, very common. How many ads do we see on television for all these sleep aids? All right. So that's what's a huge problem in this country because everybody's got adrenal exhaustion. Everybody's adrenal control. So they can't sleep now. So what do? They take something that affects the brain, what they need is something that strengthens the adrenals. And when we treat our patients who have sleep problems, then they say, hey, I'm sleeping better than I've ever slept before. It's not an individual thing we see within a matter of weeks. They'll start to feel it. Okay? Headaches, especially with exertion or stress. You get stressed out, you get a headache. You know, or if you go out and you try to do some activity, work on the arts, and you get a headache. That'll tell you you very, very well have an adrenal issue. It needs to be addressed. Okay? Weight gain, especially with exercising or under stress. Sorry. That's okay.
Well.
So you have a weight gain when you exercise, or you can't lose weight from exercising. You're out there really doing all this kind of exercise that you can, and for some reason the weight doesn't come off. You're in adrenal type, and so it just doesn't work because you have to exercise a certain way so that you don't stress the adrenals when you do it. Okay. And lastly, the sweating is like a lot of folks are sweating all the time. A lot of times it's an adrenal issue. You know, so those are things that. So these are some of the more common things we'll see with someone who has an adrenal problem, which has to be dealt with if you're going to deal with your allergies effectively. Okay, and your immune function in general. So what do we do with all this stuff? When we get up here and we want to deal with these things to get rid of this problem, how do we do it? Well, diet, of course. You don't want to be putting in sugar because that knocks down a lot of these different systems. You don't want to be eating junk food because you don't have anything to repair the body with, and you need nutrients to make good tissue. You don't want to be using foods that literally damage you. Trans fats, things like this. You just don't want this stuff. Synthetic engineered foods are simply not compatible with life. Now, you can get away with them for a long time, but you can get a price for it if you do. It's eventually going to catch up with you, depending on how good your genetics are. Okay. So diet's good. Nutritional medicine, that's basically a lot of what we use here. We're using concentrated nutrients, sometimes nutraceuticals, which are taking synthetics or fractionated nutrients for certain things. We will sometimes use homeopathics to do repair and to help build adrenal activity and stuff. Also herbal medicines as well. All of these things are building and healing types of therapies which help to replenish and get the adrenals and the other glands working properly, the digestion working properly. Because remember our general approach to health problems. We don't have this treatment for that condition as a general rule. The idea is to get the whole body working like it should. A body that's functioning properly doesn't have disease. So whatever the disease is, as long as you don't have permanent damage done, you should theoretically be able to recover from it if you just get the body working properly. Now, I had a patient come in. This person had significant kidney damage. I can't take the scarred kidney tissue that's been destroyed and make it functional again. But I can get the healthy tissue, or the functional tissue, more functional, and the tissue that's kind of in the gray zone, it's not destroyed, but it's not very still sick, possibly turn that around and get it working properly with these kinds of therapies. So where this individual has like a 30–40% function of their kidneys, maybe we could get up to 50 or 60%. Make a huge difference in the quality of life. Or even if we can't increase it, keep it from degenerating further so they wind up on dialysis eventually. So sometimes we can do that with these kinds of therapies because this is a building kinds of therapies. They heal. Drugs don't heal you. They help deal with the symptoms. They can make life more livable. They can keep symptoms under control so that you're not bothered so much and keep you functional, but they don't heal you. If you think they do, have a diabetic get off their insulin. Insulin doesn't heal diabetes. It makes it so that you can function. You're still going to fall apart from the diabetes. Okay, you still get the atherosclerosis. You lose the toes and the feet and the vision, and all these things, terrible things happen to you. To live on. It keeps you alive. It doesn't heal you. Okay? You don't get now drugs indirectly. Let's say like some cancer therapies. You only kill the tumor, and the body comes back in and repairs and is able to go on. All right. But the drug itself doesn't make you healthy. It simply got rid of the bad guy. Okay? Same way with antibiotics. They kill the bugs, but you don't take antibiotics all the time to keep you healthy in the sense that they're going to build your health. What they do is they're poison, and they kill the critters. And all of these things have significant side effects and damage to your body. It's better to not have to use them, and if you need them, you need them. But you want to use them correctly and for only as long as you absolutely have to. All right? I'm not anti-drug, not anti-surgery, never have been. But I don't like tools used where they're potentially damaging because they don't need to be used. It's like I tell all my medical friends, and the only tool we have is a hammer. We treat everything like it's a nail. Not everything's a nail. We do other kinds of tools. There's a place for drugs and surgery. There's a place for this alternative, so-called alternative therapies. Depends on what you want to accomplish. You want to build health, you do this. You want to save you from dying, you get run over, or something like that. You need a good shock trauma team and all these drugs. I'm alive today because of good antibiotics. When I had a ruptured appendix years ago, this stuff wouldn't save me. Antibiotics did with the surgeon. Okay? So I'm not against those things at all, but I think they need to be used properly. Okay? And I don't think things like Nexium to help you get over your heartburn is a very smart way to go.